This is my final screencast about screencasts and Flipgrid for the Module 8 assignment. So the question of why should teachers integrate tools like Flipgrid and screencasts are things that we have been talking about in this and other modules. I hope I haven't put two kind of common sense, obvious things, but they're just the things that seem the most meaningful and truly important. So, as has been discussed in this module, the concept of humanization, even though most of us teachers teach in a traditional classroom setting where we interact with and see our students all the time, the truth is that we probably interact with about a third of our class. We have students who are shy, who sit in the back, who don't care to engage. And so tools like this allow kind of a more even and equitable platform to appreciate and see and hear all students and the teachers as well. In English in particular, we have a set of listening and speaking standards as part of our Common Core State Standards, and my department tends to find that those can be the hardest to incorporate regularly and to fairly assess. And both of these tools, I think, provide a really great platform to support those standards. They also help the shy student who, in two ways, if they are too shy to speak to their peers or in front of their class, they will probably feel more comfortable speaking in a video. And on the flip side, if they're too shy to ask their teacher certain things, if the teacher had a few prepared videos, screencasts about content in the class, then the student could access those videos without feeling that anxiety or intimidation about communicating. There is the element of adding more diverse media to the classroom, which as we become all of these one-to-one sites and our role with technology becomes more and more important, I think that it's just what am I trying to say? It makes sense as the next step. And finally, just in general, there's the increase of communication and collaboration with any of the users of these tools. So to break down more specifically how teachers can use these tools, to start with Flipgrid, how teachers could use Flipgrid with other teachers. I think that it could be, or let me say that again, how teachers could use Flipgrid both for their students as well as with other teachers. So to introduce units or concepts in their classes to students, perhaps explain the background behind an essential question, or anything like that, a Flipgrid video could be very helpful. And then I'm not sure how this would work, but I just kind of thought it might be interesting as a tool to allow staff members to collaborate instead of basically just an email chain that would bring something to life. Because I think when we speak, and especially on a platform like Flipgrid that feels very informal, sometimes we get better ideas than when we're sitting there typing out a more formal email, let's say. So I don't know, perhaps that's something that could be done. How can teachers use screencasts? They could do that for their students as audience members in order to review major components of curriculum or course requirements. So for example, at my school, we have been looking at creating a library of screencasts, specifically in the English department, about things like how to write a thesis statement, how to set up an MLA formatted paper, little things that each video at a time could focus on, so that if students needed extra help or support, they would then be able to access that video and it would always be there to help them, which I think would be great. How can students use these? So students can use Flipgrid as informal and less intimidating ways to communicate, to ask and answer questions, to tag on and hop on to other people's questions, like a discussion board that comes to life. And by doing that, they're really developing Socratic inquiry by, if I, for instance, create a topic where They have to start by posing a question, and other students have to try to answer that question or ask follow-up questions that lead the original poster to get closer to their own answer. That could be really high-level thinking. How students could use screencasts would be to present or review learned material. So similarly to exactly what I'm doing right now, as we have frequently done in this class, I have to say that I had never used any screencasting tools before this, and probably for the last 2 years I've been seeing it as part of our tech PD in our district. And like I said earlier, my school has been trying to promote the use of some screencasts, and I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I did find them intimidating, but they're clearly so easy to use. And we all now have devices that have enabled microphones and recording tools online like Screencast-O-Matic, which is what I'm using to make this and my other presentations this year. It really is actually quite easy. And so I should be embracing it more as a way to say, hey students, show me what you have learned, especially when I don't have the time or space or interest or energy in hearing 150 students present their slides or topic about something, but I do still want to be able to click through, hear their voices, see what they have to say. So in this way, it could be a really effective assessment tool. In fact, I really do want to try it. It's one of the things that I'm the happiest to get out of this course in particular. So I hope that that is a positive takeaway. Finally, instead of just presenting what they've learned, perhaps then they could also try to teach their peers something. So using a screencast in a similar way to how I said the teachers would use it to show, how to write a thesis statement, for instance. What kinds of lessons or concepts or standards could students teach their peers using this tool? So overall, 2 tools that I've really appreciated, and I already use Flipgrid in my class, not as frequently as I could. I could definitely be using it more, but screencasts are definitely soon to be coming. Thank you.